Hi again, demigods! It's Wise, and for today's video, I'm going to be sharing the rest of my list of top 20 facts you probably forgot about the Riodenverse. If you haven't seen my first video of this list, it's linked down below. Like my previous video, I'm going to be talking about facts from Percy Jackson and the Olympians, Heroes of Olympus, Trials of Apollo, and Magnus Chase and the Gods of Asgard. But before we get into the list, I have to give a spoiler warning because this video will contain some major spoilers. And now, let's get started. Number 10. Beckendorf was the only one who witnessed Rachel kissing Percy. Charles Beckendorf was the son of Hephaestus and a friend of Percy in the Percy Jackson and the Olympians. Rachel Elizabeth Dare was another character from that series, and she developed feelings for Percy before Percy and Annabeth started their relationship. In The Last Olympian, Percy and Rachel were driving in Paul's Prius when suddenly, Blackjack and Beckendorf landed on their roof, and I'll just quote what the scene is. "Pretty much," Beckendorf agreed. I looked at Rachel helplessly. "Will you tell my mom?" "I'll tell her. I'm sure she's used to it. And I'll explain to Paul about the hood." I nodded my thanks. I figured this might be the last time Paul loaned me his car. "Good luck." Rachel kissed me before I could even react. "Now get going, Half-Blood. Go kill some monsters for me." Nobody except Beckendorf was around when this happened. Number 9. Nico has extreme, indomitable willpower. I think the Riodenverse fandom always remembers Percy and Annabeth falling to Tartarus, but often forgets the fact that Nico went to Tartarus too. Around the Son of Neptune, Nico decided to go to the Doors of Death, but was accidentally sucked into Tartarus. In the House of Hades, Percy admits countless times that he was glad that Annabeth was there with him, because if it weren't for her, he might have gone insane in Tartarus, especially when he realized that they were walking on the very body of the primordial god Tartarus. The fact that Nico survived this place alone, without losing his sanity, is just beyond me, and this just proves how strong Nico's willpower is. Number 8. Riptide is a girl and could function like a normal pen. Riptide, or Anaklusmos, is the sword Percy uses throughout his adventures. It was first given to him by Chiron and the Lightning Thief, as a pen, and when you uncap it, a sword appears. In the last book of Magnus Chase, Jack, or the Sword of Summer, reveals that Riptide is a girl, and Jack proceeds to flirt with Riptide even if Riptide didn't move or talk. In the House of Hades, when Percy and Annabeth were stuck in Tartarus, Annabeth decided to send a message to Camp Half-Blood, and they were able to use Riptide as a normal pen. Number 7. Jason becomes older than Thalia. Jason and Thalia were siblings, but they had different fathers, Jason being the son of Jupiter and Thalia being the daughter of Zeus. Originally, Thalia was the older sibling, being 7 years old when Jason was born. However, Thalia joins the Hunters of Artemis by the end of the Titan's curse, and when someone does this, they pledge themselves to Artemis, and they stop aging. Because of this, Thalia stays the same age, which is around 15 or 16, and Jason eventually becomes the older sibling. Number 6. Magnus and Percy have many similarities. And I'll give examples. Both of them were descendants of gods, Magnus being the son of Frey, and Percy being the son of Poseidon. Both of them were tasked to bring back a weapon, Percy retrieving Zeus's lightning bolt, and Magnus getting the Sword of Summer. Both of them were offered something by a god. Odin offered Magnus a normal life, and Zeus offered immortality to Percy. Also, both of them denied these offers. Percy denied Zeus's gift because he wanted to spend time with Annabeth, and to honor all those people who sacrificed themselves during the Titan War, and Magnus denied Odin's offer because he wanted to stay with his friends. Number 5. Rachel used her blue plastic hairbrush to hit her enemies twice. In the Battle of the Labyrinth, when Percy was running from Kronos, a voice yelled his name and something flew past Percy. It was Rachel's voice, and she hit Kronos in the eye with a blue plastic hairbrush. This scene is very iconic, and she used the blue plastic hairbrush in the Tower of Nero as well. Personally, I love this so much, and Apollo even admitted that she was a hairbrush throwing ninja. Number 4. The Prophecy of Seven was in Camp Jupiter for centuries. The first time we hear about the Prophecy of Seven was from The Last Olympian, when Rachel became the new host of the Oracle of Delphi. However, a small scene in The Son of Neptune states the prophecy was several thousand years old, and that it was from the Lost Sibylline books, which were books of countless prophecies that went missing during the Roman Empire. Throughout the years, it was passed to the 12th Legion, or Camp Jupiter, and eventually engraved on the Temple of Jupiter. Number 3. Zoe and Calypso are sisters, and Bob was their grandfather. Zoe Nightshade is the former lieutenant of the Hunters of Artemis, and her father was Atlas, who is Bob or Iapetus' son. In the Battle of the Labyrinth, Percy lands on the island of Ogygia and met Calypso. In that book, it was revealed that Calypso was a third-generation Titaness and was also the daughter of Atlas. She was placed on that island as a punishment because she supported the Titans during the Titan War against the Olympians. Thus, this makes her and Zoe siblings, and they both have Bob as a grandfather. Number 2. Percy and Annabeth resisted their fatal flaws in order to escape Tartarus. In order to escape Tartarus, Percy and Annabeth needed to get to the Doors of Death, and the Doors of Death is an elevator. The problem is, someone needs to be down there pushing a button for 12 minutes. Percy and Annabeth met the Titan Iapetus, or Bob, and he offered to do this for them. Percy's fatal flaw is personal loyalty, meaning that he would do anything to save his friends, and at that moment, he had to resist the urge to save Bob and sacrifice himself instead. Annabeth's fatal flaw was hubris, and she thinks that she can save all those she loves, but at that moment, Annabeth fought against her fatal flaw and allowed Bob to sacrifice himself. And finally, number 1. Grover still had an empathy link when Percy was in Tartarus. In the Sea of Monsters, Grover was trapped by the Cyclops Polyphemus, and he needed to ask Percy for help. He made an empathy link with him, meaning that whatever Grover was feeling, Percy could feel it too, and whatever Percy was feeling, Grover could feel it. As of the Son of Neptune, it was said by a faun named Dawn that Percy still had the empathy link, even if he landed in the river Tiber of Camp Jupiter. And this is saying something because the river washed away Percy's Achilles curse. This means that while Percy was going through Tartarus, Grover could feel what Percy was going through. So how about you? Do you know any more facts? Let me know in the comments down below.